Are you ready to unlock the secrets of today's most pressing financial trends?
That's right, with insights from esteemed analysts like Joseph Wang, Phil Baker, and Rick Rule, we've harnessed the power of AI for you.
In this compilation, we've distilled hours of market analysis into quick, digestible summaries just for you.
So buckle up. First, Joseph Wang will break down the critical pressures facing equity markets.
Stay tuned for Phil Baker's insights on why silver production is struggling to meet demand.
And don't miss Andrew Schmidt's take on the silver supply crisis. This is crucial for investors.
Let's cap it off with Rick Rule's perspective on the massive opportunities in oil and gas stocks.
Also, Xueqin Jiang will delve into geopolitical risks. Monitoring these will be key.
Remember, these insights are for educational purposes and not investment advice. Let's dive in. Today, we're diving into market dynamics as analyzed by Joseph Wang on the latest episode of Markets Weekly.
Joseph highlights the significant pressures equity markets are facing due to inflation and rising interest rates.
Joseph Wang points out that inflation remains a crucial factor impacting investor sentiment.
Additionally, rising interest rates are creating challenges for borrowing and market stability, according to Joseph. Joseph emphasizes that inflation drives uncertainty, complicating investor behavior.
He notes that traders are adjusting their strategies to better manage these risks. According to Joseph, higher interest rates result in increased borrowing costs.
This situation prompts investors to reassess their portfolios to align with new economic realities.
Joseph Wang recommends diversification as a key strategy to mitigate risks in this volatile market.
He further suggests that focusing on resilient sectors might prove beneficial for investors facing these challenges.
Joseph predicts that the markets are likely to remain volatile throughout 2026.
While he anticipates that inflation could stabilize, he warns that risks will still persist.
In conclusion, Joseph Wang emphasizes the importance of closely monitoring economic indicators.
Adapting to these changing conditions will be crucial for effective portfolio management in this evolving market landscape.
Today, we're diving into an insightful analysis by Phil Baker concerning the future of silver supply.
Phil mentions that we may see challenges in silver production affecting supply levels.
Phil Baker believes that silver mine supply will struggle to match levels seen in 2016 over the next 5 years.
This ongoing deficit in supply is expected to contribute to a sustained rise in silver prices. Phil points out that mining companies are grappling with increasing costs and regulatory challenges.
This struggle makes recovering from previous production disruptions significantly slower. Phil mentions that macroeconomic factors influence investments in mining.
As demand for silver rises, supply limitations enhance market pressures. Phil indicates that with continued scarcity of silver, we may see significant price increases.
Federal policies and inflation concerns are likely to further drive silver prices upward. What does Phil project for silver supply and prices in the coming years?
Phil anticipates that production will remain below 2016 levels, impacting future prices significantly.
Phil concludes that understanding the constraints on silver supply is crucial for investors.
He advises that keeping an eye on these trends will be essential for making informed investment decisions.
Today, we're analyzing the silver supply crisis with insights from Andrew Schmidt in a discussion with Mark Thomas.
According to Andrew, there are ongoing supply shortages causing increased volatility in silver prices.
Andrew Schmidt points out that silver demand is currently outpacing supply due to its extensive use in industries.
He also notes that various factors contribute to market volatility, especially in light of current events. Andrew explains that the rising demand for silver, especially in technologies, is not kept up by supply.
What does this suggest for silver prices moving forward?
Andrew indicates that we may see prices rise as supply struggles to meet demand.
How should investors respond to these changes, according to Andrew?
Andrew suggests focusing on long-term strategies, viewing volatility as an opportunity for prudent buying.
What predictions does Andrew have regarding silver prices?
He predicts that significant price increases may occur if supply chains do not improve.
Andrew emphasizes the necessity of staying informed about supply chain issues for investors.
Moreover, diversifying investments can mitigate risks tied to market volatility.
Today, we'll explore Rick Rule's insights on investment opportunities in the oil and gas sector.
Rick elaborates on how current market dynamics create exceptional potential for investors.
Rick Rule emphasizes that despite volatility, the energy sector is ripe with investment opportunities.
He suggests that savvy investors can capitalize on market fluctuations in oil and gas.
What does Rick Rule say about the current instability in oil prices?
Rick points out that while prices can fluctuate, this volatility can lead to attractive entry points for investors. Rick comments on the importance of timing an investment, especially in a sector as volatile as oil and gas.
He advises investors to look beyond immediate price changes and consider longer trends. What predictions does Rick Rule have for oil and gas investments in the near future?
Rick predicts substantial growth in this sector, emphasizing that sharp downturns often lead to substantial recoveries.
Rick Rule concludes that now is an opportune time for investors to consider the oil and gas sector.
He stresses the importance of diversifying investments while focusing on sectors with substantial growth potential.
Today, we're examining the staggering results from the National Association of Realtors, which reveals significant drops in the housing market.
The report outlines sharp declines in home sales, emphasizing the causes and implications of these trends.
Recent statistics show a worrying decline in home sales, pointing to bigger issues in the housing market.
These dynamics are complicated by proposed regulatory actions that may affect market buyers.
What insights can we derive regarding the ramifications of investor bans on home buying?
The bans seem to be constricting supply, resulting in challenges for average buyers competing with larger investors. Agents are adjusting their strategies, often considering lower offers from buyers.
Sellers are more flexible, realizing the importance of changing with the market. What is the general sentiment towards the recent downturn in the housing market?
Some see it as an opportunity, although worries about affordability remain strong.
What can analysts tell us about future expectations for the housing market?
There is speculation that home prices might continue to drop before stability is regained.
Moving forward, buyers need to be aware of ongoing market fluctuations.
Sellers must adjust their expectations based on current trends.
Today we explore an urgent analysis by Jiang regarding the risks of U.S.-Iran tensions.
Jiang warns of potential military actions that could destabilize the region.
Jiang states that military escalation could severely affect oil supplies.
Lin agrees, noting the volatility it could unleash in global markets. Jiang discusses the troubling U.S. military posture towards Iran.
Such actions could spark broader conflicts in the region. What potential effects on oil markets do experts foresee?
Jiang suggests a significant spike in oil prices if tensions rise.
What trends might affect investor sentiment?
Jiang notes that uncertainty will push many to safer asset classes.
What are Jiang's forecasts for market conditions?
There's a risk of rising oil prices and falling equities if conflict occurs.
Jiang stresses the need for ongoing monitoring of global developments.
Investors may need to reassess their portfolios in light of geopolitical risks.
What an enlightening discussion we've wrapped up today.
Absolutely. Xueqin highlighted some really pressing concerns regarding U.S.-Iran tensions.
And Rick Rule was truly optimistic about the oil and gas sector, emphasizing its potential for investors.
Right. And let's not forget the eye-opening discussions around silver with Andrew Schmidt and Phil Baker, both pointing towards significant supply challenges.
It's fascinating how they agreed on the overarching impact of these supply chain issues, but differed on the urgency and timeframes.
Exactly. Jiang warns us about immediate geopolitical risks, while Baker projects a longer trajectory for silver prices.
Joseph Wang really brought it all together, stressing the importance of diversification in a volatile market.
If you found these insights valuable, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe.
Your support helps us keep bringing in such expert analyses.
Stay tuned for our next episode, where we'll dive deeper into the shifting landscape of global markets.
Thanks for watching, and we can't wait to see you next time.